Pranam. This and the series of videos that I'm going to upload in certain, from next few days or few weeks, we are going to focus on family wealth management. What we are going to do is that we are going to understand what is wealth, what is family wealth, and what is family wealth management. So we are going to go in depth of all the parts of family wealth management. And there are basically, I feel that there are three pillars of family wealth management. Pillar number one is creating wealth. Then pillar number two is enhancing wealth. And the last pillar is safeguarding wealth. So what we are going to do is that we are going to understand each pillar separately in certain videos. And then we're going to have a combined overall view of what wealth management actually means. So in this first video, I would like to just clear out certain points that, we all are together on the same page as far as the word wealth is concerned. Because there are certain understanding of wealth which I have, and there is certain understanding of wealth that people have in their brains. So I will be using the definition that I feel is the apt for wealth management, and every video next, wherever I say wealth, I mean something of that I have explained in this video what I mean by wealth. So let's start with that wealth management case. I'll just try to share the screen and we'll understand what do you mean by wealth management. Okay. So as I always say, pranam from my side. This is the first part of the series of sessions on wealth management. And over here, we are going to understand what do you mean by wealth. So in ordinary language, wealth conveys an idea of prosperity. It conveys an idea of abundance. Now, over here, what we are going to see is that what amount of wealth is there? How much wealth do you have? We basically mean richness. We basically mean prosperity. When I say wealth, this is what that conveys, in our brain. What is richness? How rich a person is? What is the prosperity level? But in economics, money is not the only form of wealth. In economics, what is wealth? Wealth is synonymous to economic goods. And what are economic goods? They are certain goods which are scarce and they command a price in the market. Okay. So over here, we are going to understand the basic three tenets of anything that will make it a wealth. So scarcity alone cannot make a good a wealth. So if I have a rotten mango, nobody would like to have it, so it's not a wealth, even though it's scarce probably. Therefore, besides being scarce, a commodity should have utility. Even a harmful thing can be wealth if it is having utility and it can satisfy a want. So when I say, we have gun or there are drugs, they are harmful, but still they are wealth because they possess a utility and it can satisfy a want of somebody. Further, the idea of ownership also has to be there in wealth. This means that unless and until a specific good or an article cannot be passed to somebody else, that means if the ownership cannot be transferred, you cannot call it wealth. So over here, let us go back to that rotten mango example. When I say rotten mango is not wealth, I am assuming that nobody wants it. There is no utility. But now let us come to a place, where assume that somebody is there who is willing to have a small, vendor shop, a small tapri near a school that he wants to sell, say, mango juice. For him, probably that rotten mangoes can be having utility, and he can also put a price tag to it depending upon can he use it to make a mango juice and can he sell it, yes or no. So over here again, every time the context would be that does that thing possess utility? It can possess utility for someone, it might not have utility for somebody else. So unless and until a thing or an article or a good has certain utility for somebody in the world, it is a part of wealth. So let us understand it this way. There are three questions that one should ask to himself to understand whether the proposed thing or the thing that is we are concerned with, is it wealth or not. Question number one is, can it satisfy a human want? That is, does it possess utility? It can possess utility for somebody, as I said in the in the slide before it, wherein a rotten mango might not have utility for somebody, but it might have utility for somebody else for sure. So when I say presume karo ke parali jo jalate hain, everybody is having issues with parali. It's not a wealth for somebody. But there are people who export parali. It goes to Thailand where they cold press it or they press it and they make cutlery out of it, and that again is exported back to India. So parali per se is also wealth for somebody who is able to use it and transfer and make money out of it. So the first question is that, is it satisfying human want? Does it have utility? Yes or no. The second thing is that it has to be scarce. Means everything that is in abundance might not be wealth. Okay. So it has to be scarce, it cannot be easily available, you have to do certain efforts to find it, then only it's known as wealth. Now the last thing that the question is it transferable? Ownership of an article, if it is not transferable, then it is not wealth. So for that, if I see this definition, then land, building, machinery, money, all these things can satisfy human wants, they are scarce and they are transferable, so they all come a part of wealth. However, say we take oxygen. Okay, right now oxygen is in great demand, but the oxygen that we have in air doesn't have any, it's not scarce, it's there, and it is not transferable. However, when the same oxygen is put in a cylinder, or when you use a machine like oxygen concentrator, then it will become wealth, because the cylinder is transferable, it is having utility and is scarce right now. So these three things have to be there. Similarly, a thing that is in abundance, I'll say that sunlight, water, all these things have the greatest utility that a human can have. But since they are in abundance and they are not transferable, nobody owns it. Hence, they will not be a part of wealth as far as wealth management is concerned. Now, money is wealth. Why? It possesses utility, it is scarce and is transferable. So the whole thing will revolve around money. Okay, when we are doing this thing. And then income is what wealth yields. So when I say wealth is the fund, income is a flow. So if we are having property worth to be 50 crore rupees and we are getting a 2 crore rent out of it, then what is wealth is probably that that property is also wealth and money is also wealth. But wealth probably is a fund and income is the flow. So 2 crore rupees that you get every time is the income that we say is income, and the other thing is the fund. Please mark that both, that is the fund as well as the cash flow management, is a part of wealth management. You cannot separate it out from each other. So both has to be understood in a proper way, and both has to be dealt in that specific way only. So this is something about wealth and income. Then this, as I say, we are going to do this three pillars of family wealth management, as I put it. First is we will try to understand what is creating wealth. The second pillar is enhancing wealth, and the third and the most underrated, pillar of wealth is safeguarding wealth. No, I have seen very few people who are interested and who put efforts just to safeguard their wealth. Everybody, say if I take a business owner or a family business, say 90% of the time would be going in what? In creating wealth. Okay, that is by doing business. They get into strategies, they have people, they make products, they market, they brand, they do everything. So 90% of time goes only in creating wealth. Probably say 3-4% time will go in enhancing wealth, and there is no first thing that they do for protecting their wealth. So in the next sessions to come, we are going to understand all these three pillars in detail. Let's hope that this makes sense to you and you make some, and you can gain out of this. Thank you so much. Take care.